House needs painting, grass needs mowing, where's he at?
Hi, this is Hank. Sorry I missed your call. Leave me your name and your number and I'll get back to you.
He's gone fishing.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Mossy Oak and Liqua Molly.
Welcome to Off the Water with Hank Parker. I'm your co-host, Sarah Beth, and you are...
Hello, Sarah Beth. I'm Hank, and we're here to do a podcast today, and we got an interesting topic.
We sure do. We are talking about family fishing.
Family in the outdoors, you know, not only fishing, just getting outside, doing things together as a family, but, you know, high school fishing is a project we've been working on from the beginning of our podcast. We hooked up with Huckleberry Apparel and tried very hard to launch a successful fundraising opportunity for high school fishermen, fishing people. You know, a lot of girls involved in high school fishing, and that's really, really cool. So we have really been putting a push on to get people to sign up with Huckleberry Apparel to be able to raise funds for their high school fishing opportunities. So you just go to huckleberryapparel.com. And I will be honest with you, that's been extremely disappointing for me. Danny Bennett and all the guys at Huckleberry got all the people in place and got all the fulfillment opportunities, all the shipping and all the logistic part of that worked out. And we have not had nearly the amount of participation. We've had a lot of interest, man. We've had a lot of people respond and how awesome it is, but we have not had a lot of teams to sign up. So if you're involved or know somebody that's involved in high school fishing that needs to have a fundraising project going, that Huckleberry Apparel is the best deal going by far. That's something that I worked really, really hard with Danny Bennett. And Danny made a lot of sacrifices at Huckleberry to make that happen. And for me, it's been extremely disappointing on how few teams have signed up. So we'll make an appeal once again for those that know somebody, or if you're involved in high school fishing, you want to jump on that opportunity, because that is something that will allow you to raise a significant amount of money. It's not like the bands that sell chocolate bars or those sorts of things. It is some significant money that will help, because there's a lot of expense involved in high school fishing, a lot of travel, a lot of fuel, and boat captains that dedicated and donated their time in the early stages of high school fishing. But as time has gone on, it's an expense that a lot of the boat captains fall out, because they'll go out there and spend $100 on gasoline and travel expense, and they don't get repaid. So this is an opportunity for the high schools and the teams to raise enough funds that they can support these boat captains and get more engagement and more involvement. So I say all of that because it is so important to us, and it's a project we've been working on from the onset of our podcast. But I will say now, I have so many parents come up to me and say, hey, you've talked about the value of outdoors. You've talked about the value of being able to communicate to your children in the outdoors and breaking down barriers. We agree with that, but my kids don't care anything about the outdoors. They don't like the hot weather. They don't like the mosquitoes. They don't like the sunshine. They don't want to participate in anything we do outdoors, and especially fishing. So how do you get your kids involved in fishing?
A lot of it, I think it's the parents, because if you're out there telling your kid you can't talk, you got to be quiet, can't play music because it scares the fish away. Yeah, you can't do that. That makes it not fun. You think you just got to like sit there like this and just cast your rod out there. I mean, that gets boring for a kid after a while. If there's no engagement, or if it's like they're just sitting there, kids can't sit still too long, especially nowadays. They can't. I like what you said there. It's got to be fun, and that's the whole key. That is the whole key. You remember when we did kids fishing, the family show, and man, we gave every girl a prize. You know, we'd have a little tackle box, and in that tackle box, it might be some
candy goodies. It might be some play lipstick or
No, Mama will put that together. It was all Justice stuff. We would have Justice towels with our like little initial on them. We'd tackle box full of candy and snacks and other stuff. I think one year there were pink like little jelly worms in there for fishing. But yeah, that was really the highlight of the year for me, like thinking back growing up, because it was fun. That parts of that made it fun because A, you knew you were going to get something. B, we're with the whole family. We're getting to see all of our cousins, and we always had a big sleepover the night before. All of us girls would pile up in the basement, and y'all would be coming down there at 5 o'clock in the morning with the cameras rolling to shoot the fishing show. We would all be like, oh.
Well, but the point, everybody can't have a camera crew, and everybody's not going to bring in
Right.
14 members of the family to go on a. But all that's good. The whole point is to let's be creative to make it fun. Let's figure out how to make it more than just going sitting on a creek bank and getting bit by mosquitoes. So let's figure out how we can make fishing fun. And that is the key to the outdoors period, whether you're taking them hunting or whether you're taking them fishing. Get outdoors. But the whole thing is let it be about them.
Yeah.
And I did it's like an old maid will write a book on how to raise children. They don't have a clue. The only way you're going to know how to raise children is engage and be involved. And there's so much, there's not enough books, there's not enough preparation that a parent can read to prepare them for what it's like on raising children.
Right.
And every kid is different. So I've made a lot of mistakes, and so I'm qualified to write the book. I'm not like the old maid. It's not like I haven't been there. And I'm probably more qualified to write the book on how to take kids and introduce them to the outdoors because I made all the mistakes. I know what not to do. And that's important. You know, when we did the family picnic, and I keep wanting to say Kids Corner because I did Kids Corner on my television show for about 15 years until all the kids grew up and became adults and we didn't have any more kids. But we used our cameraman's kids, we used our producer's kids, we used my kids, and we just had a ball with Kids Corner. And it's about having fun, and they stress that more than anything. When we would go shoot those segments, we needed to make it fun to keep them engaged and be upbeat and sell us on the idea that they were in fact having fun.
Right.
A kid, you can't fool a kid. And when they're on TV, if they're not happy, if you're just giving them a script to follow and they're not happy, it ain't going to work. I mean, you can see right through it. So we always had to make sure when we got ready to shoot that Kids Corner segment that it was genuine and they were truly having fun and excited about being outdoors. So we did all kind of creative things. Well, I learned a lot from that.
Right.
Because when I take my kids fishing, I didn't do all that. And then I learned, good gracious, look how many mistakes I made. I used to take my kids out and fish like it was in a bass tournament, trying to, hey, don't talk, don't waste time, get that lure in the water. No, you can't have a Coke. No, we don't have snacks. We're going to fish. How wrong was that? Man, it was crazy.
Very. Because as a kid, if somebody would tell me that, I'm like, well, I'm not fishing then.
And that's what's happened. That's what happens. I have so many adult friends that tell me, boy, I can't get my kid to go fishing with me anymore. Used to fish with me some. Well, wait a minute. Let's see where we went wrong. Let's go back and did you make it about them? Well, no. You didn't. You made it about you and you expected them to adapt to what you wanted to do. And now they don't want to go fishing anymore because it was a grind. It was not fun.
Boring. Probably for a lot of kids, I'd say it's probably boring, especially when it's hot outside. And, the kid's probably thinking of one thing is going swimming, especially if you're in a boat. They're thinking about jumping in the water. I can tell you that.
All right. You tell me now, from your perspective, when we used to load up and go, what was it that made fishing fun for you?
For me, I honestly think it was spending time with my family, like all my cousins and all that other stuff. I enjoyed fishing too. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed throwing my line out there when it wasn't stuck in the tree. But I could tell it was a lot. You had a lot of grandkids out there. And so really it was the camaraderie of, talking to your cousin and, sitting over at the corner. Really, that was it. It's like fishing was like background. And then the rest of it was like the main focus was like spending time with everybody.
So for you, we need to bring buddies along. We need to have
right as a kid, yeah.
Yeah, we need to have buddies along.
Right,
and that's a part of what it took to entice you to want to go fishing is bring friends.
Yeah, and you see, as I got older, and then we saw that you took the boys out fishing and did a boys show. We're like, excuse me, like that looks like fun. We could do that.
Yeah, we'll have to share that story. I think I've shared the story once before, but we'll have to share that story. But that shows, for me, I get a good report card on that particular trip because I learned from that. I learned what was important. And girls, and this is true with all children, not just girls and boys, not the difference in girls and boys. Individual children have different personalities and different appeals. And so you got to adapt to whatever that particular child wants to do and to their personality. So it's not just a girl and boy, but there's a big difference in my family in girls and boys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big difference.
Let's talk about the differences between when you took the boys fishing and when you took the girls fishing.
We went down to Lake Murray and went striper fishing, and we do this each year. We take the boys' farm. We spend it's called Hanging with Hank, and we take these guys from the boys' farm out on a fishing trip. Well, the next day, Bill Armfield, my friend, who sets up a guide boat, and he's an awesome guide on Lake Murray. And so Bill Armfield would give us a play day. So I have a play day after the boys' farm, so I bring my grandkids. So I told Bill, I said, I'm going to bring Hank and Bill and Ben and Hank's boys and whoever wants to come for play day. And I've taken Alec but anyway, this particular year, I couldn't get anybody to come except Hank Jr., Cade, and Boone. And so we went out, or did I have Jake?
I think you had Jake with you too.
Yeah, I think we had Jake.
I think so.
Yeah.
Don't quote us on that, but Jake was maybe there.
Maybe Alec and Jake and Hank's boys.
No, I think so. This is the boys' show, right?
Yeah.
So
because
I'm pretty sure because it was all of them and we saw them. I remember we watched that show. We were like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we had all the grand boys that wanted to come, and I don't know how many, but I had 5, 6, 7, 8, and we did a show, and it was awesome, man. We caught them. And these stripers, they pull like crazy. And, man, these little boys were giggling and laughing and having a ball. And so we're watching this downstairs, and there's 3 or 4 granddaughters there watching. And they said, Papa, how's that fair? That you take the boys and you won't take us? I said, well, girls, we do other things. We go swimming and we go to the mall. Yeah, but that ain't what we want to do. We want to do like the boys. We want to go fishing. I said, oh, y'all don't want to go fishing. It was hot. No, Papa. We want to go fishing. We really do. And
we were so serious about it, too, until we got out there.
Well, there was so many girls. I got a lot more girls. I've got like 13 girls and only 7 boys. So it's a boat full of girls now. So
well, yeah, because if you take one, you can't just take 2 or 3. You got to take all of them.
I agree. So we loaded up, man. We loaded up the big Ranger Bay boat and went down to Lake Murray to go striper fishing. And as we would have it, we had issues, man. The battery was dead, and that was before I started using Pro Guide batteries. That was in the olden days, and for whatever reason, a lead acid battery. I now use lithium Pro Guides. I have no issues, but we used to always have some sort of issues, and we had a battery issue.
Well, something would always go wrong. That is one thing that I do remember. every year for the family fishing show, something would go wrong and almost throw the entire thing down the toilet. Like, seriously,
it's just a nature, but you can't let that.
I'm telling you.
You can't let that get you down. So we had adversity that day, and I was having problems marking fish, and these girls now, they were something else. The whole key to those stripers is getting to that rod. You take a live herring, and you use it's like a Carolina rig. You put a weight up above a swivel, and then you have the hook, and then that way the herring can swim free. And when the striper gets it, the key is to lift up and get a good solid hook set.
Right.
And timing is everything.
Right.
If you wait too late, he's gone. He's gone. You got to get the hook set. So, and I'm a fisherman, and I've got this cat eye, and I'm watching all these rods, and man, I'd say front rod, and they said, Pawpaw, we're talking.
I remember that.
I'd say, well, baby, you got to quit talking and grab that. We'll get it, just don't interrupt. I said, well, baby, it's so important that you get that. Well, it's okay, Pawpaw. Calm down.
We were out there to be on the boat, really. We weren't out there to go fishing.
The rods are going down everywhere, and I'm screaming and hollering, and Pawpaw, calm down. We just opened our cookies. We can't be grabbing the fishing rod. So that went on all day long, and I wasn't marking that many fish to begin with, and so when you get a bite, it's so important and to capitalize on it, and we just weren't capitalizing. I think we'd caught 4 fish, 5 fish all day among 12 girls or however many was on the boat.
Yeah, I remember specifically, I think it was me and Alex talking about it first. This is one of Hank Jr.'s kids, Alex. She's the oldest. And me and her were talking, and then Anna joined that conversation. We're like, man, it's really hot. I wonder if Papa will let us go swimming.
Oh, here we go.
And we started formulating a plan. Yeah. And we're like, okay, which one of us is going to go up and ask if we can go swimming? And we decided to all go together.
All at one time.
All at one time.
So here's what happened. I'm looking at my big chart recorder on my boat, and I'm looking for a school of fish, and I finally find what I'm looking for. Man, I'm excited. I have got a school of fish. I've been looking all day. And so I said, all right, girls, we got them right here. You said, but Pawpaw, we want to tie a rope to the cleat on the back of the boat where we can hold on to it, and we all want to go swimming.
Mind you, we didn't say that. We didn't know what a cleat was, but yeah, you get the point. You get the point.
We want to tie a rope. We want to tie a rope to the back of the boat and go swimming. And so I said, yeah, but we got a big school of fish right here. Let's fish first. No, Pawpaw, we don't want to fish first. We want to go swimming. But I said, there's a huge school. We can catch a lot of fish. Pawpaw, we don't care. We want to go swimming. And so we went swimming.
I remember us thinking, like, okay, if we all go together, we have a higher chance of him saying, if he gets outnumbered.
What are you going to say? But again, that goes back to the whole point that we're trying to make when people say, I can't get my kids to go fishing. They don't want to go. It's about them. It's about having fun. Now, I've been preaching this for a while. So now it's a showdown. I want to fish, man. I found this school of fish, and it's going to make great TV, and it's going to be awesome. And we got to capitalize on this school of fish. But I've been preaching. It ain't about me. It's not about what I want. It's about having fun with your kids and doing what they want to do. Mm-hmm. So now you're going to call my bluff. So I said, okay, we're going to tie a rope. You guys are going to go swimming.
You still got good TV. It's the only episode you ever had makeup put on you and a bow put in your hair.
Well, we're going to have to get to that. So they go fishing. They go swimming, rather. We do not go fishing. We go swimming for about 45 minutes. And I'm hoping, my dream is, these fish are 45 feet deep. My dream is that these fish will not go anywhere while these girls are being really quiet, easing in the water. Well, they're doing cannonballs, and I mean, those fish are gone. They're not a fish within a mile of where we're at. So forget putting a bait down. And so we swam for an hour. And of course, you guys named the show. Do you remember the name of the show?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Girls Rock
Oh, God.
was the name of our show. You know, we call a striper a rockfish. And so I said, well, we're rockfish. Oh, no, Papa. Girls Rock. So it ended up, the show was called Girls Rock. But when you got out of the water, what did you want to do?
I don't remember. I really don't.
I can't believe you don't remember
no,
that.
No, on this specific day, no.
When you got out of the water, I said, okay, girls, we're going to go over here and look for, Papa, we want to put makeup on you.
Oh, that part, yeah. No, yeah, because I remember we had just gotten out of the water from swimming, and we were in the boat. I forget what you were doing. You were sitting at the front of the boat, and I remember us thinking it would be so funny if we put makeup on Papa. So that's what we decided to do.
So I sat in the front of the boat, and you got rouge and lipstick and whatever else you had, powder of all sorts. And anyway, I was made up.
You sure were.
Yeah, that is a absolute first for me. But hey, let me tell you, I felt so disappointed. And I can go back to 3 different times in my lifetime where I took my kids and we did not catch fish, and it did not live up to my expectations from a fishing perspective. But they talked about it for years later. Man, how much fun that was. You girls talked about that show for 5 years after we did it. Papa, that was so much fun. We need to do that again. That
was fun.
Yeah. It was fun for y'all. But hey, that is the whole point, and that's what we're talking about. Make it fun. Make it fun. So when you take your kid fishing, here's me, and I'm not going to blame anybody else. I'm going to take ownership and responsibility for the errors that I have made. When I know if you'll lit that bobber, you're going to put a live worm on a little brim hook, and you're going to throw it out there. If you'll just let that thing sit there for a little while, that brim's eventually going to find that worm, and you're going to catch a fish. And I want you so bad to catch a fish that I don't want you to move that bobber. Do not move. Don't wind that in. Leave it alone. And it gets to the point where it almost becomes rigid, restrictive, instructional, and almost heated.
Boring.
Boy, I told you, don't you wind that. Girl, I told you, leave that bob. No. That was mistakes that I made. I later learned, man, let them wind it in. No, they're not going to get a bite, but let them wind it in.
Let them learn. Hey, they said, I'm fishing. I'm the one fishing right now. You
and
stay over there.
I learned from that. You want them to catch a fish, and it is so exciting for them to catch a fish, and you get so excited watching their little eyes and their excitement. And I've said this before, whether you're 2 years old or 92 years old, when you catch a fish, it makes you smile. So you're wanting them so bad to engage in the sport, and you're wanting them to catch a fish, and you're wanting to see them smile and hear them giggle. So it's important for them to catch a fish. So here's what I've learned as time has gone on through all my kids and my grandkids. So give them their own rod and reel. Don't take your rods and reels. Now, when you're going fishing with your kids, leave your stuff at home. Take their stuff. It's all about them. But we did a little piece the other day with Zebco, and I'm so proud of Zebco because I think almost every pro fisherman that's my age or older all started with a Zebco 33. And so, hey, man, bring that reel and put it back in the forefront. Everybody needs a Zebco 33. It's awesome. It's the first really good fishing rod and reel that I ever owned. And they're just awesome. And they've rebuilt those things and made them even better and more fishing friendly. The one thing that in my era, I would always instruct the parents to go and put new, fresh, premium fishing line. Take that old meal-in line off and put you some trilene line on that and have good line where it doesn't get all tangled up. And now, like Zebco, for example, they put nothing but the best line on their reels. So awesome. I love it. But if you do have an older reel, make sure you've got good, fresh line on there where it doesn't get all curled up. That's so frustrating to be out there and just have a mess. And then you get frustrated as a parent, and the kid gets frustrated. So have good fresh line. But here's what I've learned. I give my kid, whether it's my grandson, whether it's a friend, or whether it is my own child, I give them their own rod and reel. Mm-hmm. I think that's so important. Mm-hmm. You know, when we go with the family show, we'd have 15 kids out there.
You buy brand new, like little small fishing rods.
Rod. This is Sarah Beth, this is Alex, this is Madison, this is Anna's.
Mama will put stickers on the side of them that had our names on them.
This is and it was a sense of pride and ownership that that's your rod and reel. Mm-hmm. So now when I take my grandkids or a friend fishing, I give them their own personal rod and reel.
Right.
But I also have a rod and reel just like theirs that is mine. And so I throw it out there and let it sit. But I let them throw theirs out there, and if they want to wind it in. And when mine gets a bite, I set the hook and hand them the rod. And so now you're accomplishing both things. You're letting them have fun, you're letting them throw it out and wind it in, and you're letting them experience catching the fish. Mm-hmm. You know, I took Isaac, my little grandson, Timmy's son, my youngest son, Timmy, his little boy's name, Isaac, and we took him to the pond, and he is a
so
hoot.
Cute.
He is a hoot. And it was really his first experience in catching fish. Now, his dad and mom had bought him a little plastic rod and reel to play in the house, and I think that's really good. I recommend that, to throw that plastic rod and reel in the house and go through the fundamentals and the basics. But he really got excited when he caught his first fish.
Oh, yeah, he got so excited. Then he didn't want to touch it.
Oh, no.
I know. Timmy was like, here. He's like, come on. He's like, grab the fish. He goes, ew, no,
But
ew.
remember this, Pawpaw intervened.
Yeah.
Do not make him touch that fish.
Yeah.
If he don't want to touch that fish,
It's true.
Don't make them do things that they don't want to do.
That's true. It's going to make it unpleasant for them.
Yeah, it is so important. You know, I used to train Labrador retrievers, and I'd have people bring me labs and say, this dog is scared of the water. Labs are not supposed to be scared of the water. I want to make a duck dog out of him, and he won't even go in the water. Well, how long have you had him? Well, I got him when he was 6 weeks old. Well, how do you know he won't go in the water? Well, we took him down on the dock and threw him in, and now I can't get him to go back. Well, hello. You just traumatized that little puppy. You don't throw a dog in. You get in the water and call him and let him come to you, and if he wants to come, let him come. If he don't want to come, that's okay too. You play and have a good time in the water. But anyway, to make a long story short, it'd take me about 6 weeks, and I'd have these dogs loving the water.
Yep.
But you had to retrain them. Well, no difference with a kid. Man, you take them out there, it's hot, it's miserable, you don't have snacks, you're making them just let that bobber sit. They're not doing what they want to do. They're not engaged. They don't have their rod and reel. And all of a sudden, it is absolutely no fun. Mm-hmm. You've got to make it fun.
Right.
And, you know, I took your brother, Alec, on the shortest deer hunt I've ever been involved in. It was the shortest. He wanted to go deer hunting so bad. And I said, hey, buddy, he's pretty AD. And I said, Alec, it's really not all that much fun. Maybe we ought to wait. No, Papa, I'm going to go deer hunting. I'm going to go deer hunting. I said, okay, let's go deer hunting. So we get up in, and I got a box blind to make it easy. We get up in the blind, and we've been there for about maybe 2 minutes. I'm still taking binoculars out of the backpack. I'm still getting everything ready. And he says, Papa, where are the deer? I said, they'll be here in a minute. We just have to be patient. We'll wait. So I finally got everything unpacked. Now we've been in the deer stand about 6 minutes. 6 minutes. And he said, Papa, where are the deer? I said, we just have to be patient and be waiting.
Me too, Alec.
He looked up at me and he said, well, they better hurry up if they want to see me.
If they want to see him.
I said,
That's so funny.
So 8 minutes into it, 8 minutes, we'd been in the deer stand for 8 minutes. We got in the deer stand at at 4:20. At 4:28, we're packing up, and he said, "I'm going to go see Mama." I said, "Okay, little buddy, we'll go see Mama." So we had an 8-minute deer hunt. We didn't see a deer,
Ooh.
but it was my shortest deer hunt ever.
Record time.
But it was about him.
Yes.
Now, I could have made him stay.
Yeah.
And how many times I would have done that with my own children.
Yeah.
I said, "No, boy, you shut up. I'm going to pop that hind in. You sit over there. We're going to sit here till dark. You wanted to come. Now I brought you, and you're going to sit here." Boy,
Yeah.
that was such a mistake. And that's the kind of stuff I do. That's why I say I'm qualified to write the book on how to introduce your children to the outdoors, because I did everything wrong. And then I had opportunities with grandkids
Right.
to learn the right way. So I've done it all, good and bad. And I've learned you got to make it fun.
Absolutely.
You got to give them their own rod and reel. You got to make it about them. And you can't bring your stuff.
Let them take snacks in the deer stand too. I remember when we would go hunting, or you took me. This is my first doe. I remember almost every time I would go, I'd always bring a Pop-Tart. And you know that the tinfoil, it says about the loudest stuff ever. So it takes you about 10 minutes to open a package and try to do it quietly. Every time that wrapper would crinkle, Papa will go, stop and look at me. He's like, "Shh, you gotta be quiet." I'm like, I'm trying so hard to be quiet. But
We learn now. We take that Pop-Tart when we leave, Pop-Tart before we leave the kitchen. We take a pair of scissors, we open the Pop-Tart,
And put it in a
we put it in a
Ziploc.
Ziploc bag.
there you go.
And that ends the issue. And we
Adapt.
wrap it up in a napkin inside the Ziploc bag. That keeps it from getting broken into pieces where you dig down in the Ziploc bag. Plus, it gives you a little napkin.
Moral of the story is let your kids have fun. You know, if they want to bring a Pop-Tart, adapt and put it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
You know, it's really not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. It's more important to make core memories than it is to shoot a deer, than it is to catch a fish.
Yeah. All of it's important, and engaging in the outdoors. And then the benefit of that is, you know, we're always trying to instill values in our children, and we try to force conversations when they don't fit. You know, everybody's driving to school in the morning, or you've got just a few minutes before it's time to go out the door to catch the bus, and you try to instill into your children, don't do drugs, man. And how tragic it is today with fentanyl and all the stuff. Parents are scared to death, and they have every right to be. And it's so important to have these conversations with our children. But a lot of times we force a conversation when it doesn't fit.
Right.
And it's like water on a duck's back. They're not in the mood. So when you take them in the outdoors, you break down a lot of barriers, and you're able to communicate. And you listen to them. That is another thing that's important, man. You listen to them. And you open up a line of communication where what you say penetrates and they actually hear you. They listen. And so some of the greatest conversations I've had about Jesus, about don't do drugs, how important it is to display your character and be honest, all of those took place either in the pickup truck going on a turkey hunt or deer hunting or sitting on a riverbank or sitting in the boat. And I honestly think fishing is probably the best opportunity to break down barriers and to really bond with your kids and your grandkids and be able to instill in them the values. And they're seeing something that's tangible, that's important. You know, our biggest battle today is electronics. I mean, it's all about cell phones. It's about tablets. It's, you know, it's just such an abstract world. There's just so much artificial. There's just not a lot of reality. And fishing is real. Catching that fish is real. Being in the outdoors and watching the birds and the wildlife and all the things, it's so, people tell me all the time, they say, you know, I can talk to my kids in my living room. You're right, you can, and you should, and that's all good. But I think it's more effective when they're out in nature and they see the reality of God, They see the reality of something that is absolutely not artificial. And I think it's an atmosphere and an environment that is more conducive to being able to communicate.
Right.
And so the value of the outdoors is far greater than just catching a fish or experiencing a hunt. It is a whole atmosphere that is conducive to being able to learn who your kids are. They learn who you are. You see and share values and experiences. And it just is a good opportunity to learn each other and build and instill values. And I think it is so important. And I think now, because of cell phones and because of how fast this whole world is turned into texting and social media, parents are seeing firsthand the value of having a relationship with your kid because you're really blocked out.
Yeah, well, you can't engage, especially a lot of the younger kids. They're so glued to their iPads. Like, it's always Roblox or some other video game. It's hard to get their attention for more than 5 minutes. So, I mean, they really are disconnected from everybody around them, honestly, until the iPad dies. And then it's, can you put this on the charger for me? That's about the interaction.
Then they got a backup. They pull out the cell phone.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
It's just, and I was so critical of that. I said, man, and I still do this. I do this now. I get these high school kids in the boat. You can't tell them not to bring their phone because they won't take a picture if they catch a fish. Well, now nobody has a little disposable single-use camera. We all got cell phones for our
Well, yeah, it's all got to
photograph.
be digitized. No one's going to take the time to go and,
Yeah, and then
get
you
the
got
film.
it on file.
Yeah.
You got it in your pocket. So I don't tell them, but I say put that thing on airplane mode.
Yeah.
Put it on airplane mode. We are not going to be engaging in phone calls or texting while we're fishing.
Right.
And at first, I've taken several kids on multiple trips, and at first you get a little resistance because they're so dependent on that cell phone.
It's an addiction.
It is, and I have to confess and admit, man, if I walk out of the house without my phone, oh my gosh, I don't have my phone, and I'm in a panic.
Okay,
and I hate the
but
thing.
it's not that because you're scrolling. It's because everybody's trying to get a hold of you, and then Mama's gonna beat you when she gets home if you don't answer her phone call.
But we're so dependent on it, so you can't blame the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's I hate that we are where we are, but we are there, and we're not going to reverse that. And you can't make it go away, and so you're stuck with that. So now, when I get these kids, I say, "Okay, guys, put that thing on airplane mode. We're going to fish, and we're going to have fun." And now, when I take that kid or my grandkid the second or third time, it's automatic. First thing they do is put their phone on airplane mode. No texting, no calls. We're going fishing. Yeah. And so I think it's all important. But when you get down to the wire where we are now, parents are recognizing how important it is to be able to engage with your kids somewhere other than through a text message on a cell phone.
Right.
It's important to do something tangible, something real.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that play Little League Baseball. They engage in all these different activities. But to be honest, when you're playing baseball, the coach is who has your kid. You don't. But when you go fishing, you got your kid one-on-one. Mm-hmm. But you don't have that on a ball team. He's got his playmates, his teammates. Mm-hmm. He's got his coach. And so you just have a little segment of their time driving to and from the ball field. Mm-hmm. But when you go fishing, man, you got them all day. You got them to yourself.
Right.
And that's so important. And if you got their little buddy, then you can have a great communication, and you can see what their relationship's like, and you can learn a lot about just listening. Mm-hmm. As they engage with Sarah Beth. She wanted to have a friend. That's fine. Let's take a friend. Let's go to all the trouble necessary to be able to build that relationship, because the reward is worth the effort.
Absolutely, I'd say.
And so a lot of people say, how do I take my kid fishing? It's simple. The state, you can look it up on the internet. The state provides fishing locations. They provide handicap fishing locations, which I think is so cool, and I'm so grateful. We have a lake over here, John D. Long, which is right here in Union, has a bad reputation because that's the lake where Susan Smith drowned her children, which is horrible, but that lake has been rebuilt, and they have a handicap dock, they have a public fishing dock, and it's a great place to take your kids and go fishing. There's so many places around the state. You can Google it. You can Google it, and it'll tell you where to find them. So it's not that hard. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Bass Pro and buy a Zebco, all closed face spinning reel, which is all but tangle free. It got good quality line on it. Get you a bobber and hooks, and you can buy live bait at Walmart. You can get your live bait at Bass Pro. You can get artificial bait that they make now that's got all this sin in it that fish think it's live bait, and they'll bite it. So it's easier and easier and easier to do, but it still takes time, still takes effort, and you don't need a very expensive rod and reel. You can get a lot of good quality Zebco rods and reels for $20. You can buy a Zebco 33 that's an awesome rod and reel for about $30. It's amazing where they've come and how quality these rods and reels are and how tangle-free they are. And it's a one-time investment, man. You buy that rod and reel, all you got to do is keep fresh line on it, and you can go over and over and over again. I still got rods and reels when I took Bill and Ben and Hank fishing. Hank's 50 years old. I got some old Zebco rods and reels. We broke them out the other day to take Isaac fishing that are 40 years old. And it's so cool. And they still work, and they're fine. I put fresh line on them, and, man, we're good to go. So it's a little bit of an expense. It's a lot of trouble, but it's worth it. And that's what it takes to get your kids engaged in the outdoors. No,
very well said. I'd agree with all that as the kid. I'd agree with that 100%.
It's fun to watch you now, though, as she's been running camera for me. She does my social media, and she wanted to learn how to run camera. And I think that's cool. It's frustrating to me because she's smart. I never have been. She's an A student. I'm not. And I've fooling with a drone. I've been fooling with that drone for 4 hours. She shows up, and in 4 minutes, she's read the manual, and she's out there flying the drone. I never did get it to go. It was on Guardian mode. It'd go about 3 foot, and it set back down. I couldn't figure it out. She had it going.
I like to tell him, you're just a TV personality. You just sit there, smile in front of the camera, and everything else will be taken care of. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, she's adapted to running camera. But I'll be honest with you, every time we get on the School of Fish, she wants to fish. She's back there running camera. She wants to put that camera down. No.
That's why we got a tripod. It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. I'll set it up.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
But I think that's cool that she really wants to catch fish, and she gets excited, and I as far as taking her hunting, she's been hunting since she was
like 8 years old,
8 or 9 years old, and now because I bow hunt, all she wants to do is bow hunt, so she's out there shooting her bow, dialing in. So that's so good. And my kids are the same way. My Boone and Kay, they're into it big time. I have so many kids. Ellie, Lucy, my daughter's youngest daughter, Ellie is in love with fishing, and she's a good fishing girl. Now, buddy, she loves it. So it's so exciting and rewarding to get where I am in my life and see how important and how impactful the outdoors have been on my kids and my grandkids. And it is wholesome. It is healthy. It is drug-free. There used to be a campaign, hooked on fishing, not on drugs. That's still a good slogan today. I like it.
That is a good slogan.
So.
Well, with all that being said, if y'all are interested in checking out Huckleberry or kind of seeing what they're about, that link will be in the description of this video below. It's huckleberry.com/ and then I want to say high school fishing for that one, but that link will be available for you down there. Well,
it's huckleberry.com, and when you go to the menu, you look under high school fishing, and then it'll give you the description on fundraising.
True. That is true. They also have a pretty good selection of apparel too. So just in case you're interested, and there's other stuff there too.
Always costs me a little money when Sarah Beth goes to that site.
Just a little bit. It's all right.
Okay. Also, Mossy Oak helps us out, and we're really appreciative. Liqua Molly and Mossy Oak said, "Hey Hank, don't forget to mention Mossy Oak Native Nurseries and Mossy Oak Properties. They're a big part of who Mossy Oak is. So they're a very broad company. They've got all kind of entities, but I'm so proud of them for their role in conservation, and that's who those guys are. So we're appreciative to Mossy Oak, Liqua Molly, and check out Huckleberry Apparel. And with that said,
all right, bye. See you guys next week.
all right, God bless you. I'm Hank Parker. We'll see you next time.